Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Chill English Podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Lily. Super excited you're here with us today. We've got a topic that everyone can relate to.
For real, today we're asking, why does your brain say no when things get hard? You know that moment. You want to do something important, but your brain's like, hey, maybe later.
Like trying to exercise, study English, or finish that big project. But your brain's just not having it. Suddenly, snacks and social media sound way better, right?
Exactly. But here's the deal. It's not because you're lazy. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort. The good news? You can train it to handle hard things. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
We've also got vocabulary time coming up later, where we break down useful words from today's episode.
And don't forget, we've made a free PDF just for you. It's got today's key vocabulary, helpful examples, and a few bonus tips to help you take action. You'll find the link in the description.
So grab your coffee, tea, or whatever keeps you comfy. Let's chill, learn, and grow together.
All right, so let's get into it. Why does your brain actually hate hard things?
It all comes down to something really basic. Your brain wants to keep you safe. Like super safe. And to your brain, safe means staying in your comfort zone.
Totally. Back in the day, like caveman days, anything hard or unfamiliar could be dangerous. So the brain evolved to be kind of a comfort addict.
Yep, and it learned this trick. If something feels hard, it must be risky. So it says, nah, let's not do that, and pushes you towards something easier, like lying on the couch or opening TikTok.
Or suddenly deciding it's very important to organize your sock drawer instead of working on that assignment.
Exactly. But here's the twist. Your brain isn't trying to hurt you. It's just trying to save energy and avoid pain. It loves anything predictable, anything automatic. That's why habits feel easy, and new challenges feel scary.
So next time you feel that, ugh, I don't want to do this vibe, remember, that's just your brain trying to protect you from discomfort. But growth, change, all the good stuff, it lives outside that comfort zone.
And here's the truth. If you never challenge your brain, it never grows. You stay stuck. Comfortable maybe, but stuck.
Which brings us to the next part. How your brain sneaks in and stops your progress without you even noticing.
Alright, so we know your brain is just trying to protect you, but sometimes it gets a little sneaky about it.
Which brings us to the next part. How your brain sneaks in and stops your progress without you even noticing.
Alright, so we know your brain is just trying to protect you, but sometimes it gets a little sneaky about it.
Totally. Like, it doesn't just yell no at hard things. Sometimes, it whispers little thoughts that sound reasonable, but they're really just self-sabotage.
Let's go through a few signs your brain is doing this. First one, procrastination. You know it's important, but suddenly you're like, let me just check my phone for 5 minutes.
Right. Or, I'll do it after lunch. Then after dinner. Then tomorrow. That's your brain avoiding discomfort. It's delaying pain, even if the pain is small, like effort or boredom.
Second sign, perfectionism. Ever feel like, I can't start this unless everything is perfect? That's not high standards, that's fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking bad, fear of not being good enough.
Oh yeah, I've definitely said, I just need to research a little more, and then spent 2 hours on Google and never actually started.
Been there. Okay, next sign, negative self-talk. Your brain might say things like, I'm not smart enough. This is too hard for me. Other people are better at this.
Those thoughts sound like facts, but they're not. They're just your brain trying to convince you not to try, because trying feels risky.
And the final one, overthinking. You get stuck planning and planning, thinking of every possible outcome, and never taking action.
Yeah, your brain is like, what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? And before you know it, you're mentally exhausted and haven't done anything.
So if you've been wondering why you're stuck, it might not be lack of motivation. It might be your brain playing tricks on you.
The good news? You can learn to catch those tricks and stop them. And that's exactly what we're talking about next. All right, now that we understand why our brains avoid hard things, let's get into the good stuff. How to actually fix it. Lily, let's dive into the practical strategies.
Yes, the first thing we need to do is chunk the task. Divide big things into small, manageable steps.
Exactly. Your brain will freak out if you look at the whole mountain. But if you break it down into smaller hills, it feels a lot less intimidating. So, instead of thinking, I have to write an entire essay, I'll write one paragraph.
Exactly. And once you finish one paragraph, you're already on your way. You've created momentum.
All right, strategy number 2. Upgrade your self-talk. When you say, I can't, your brain stops trying. But when you say, I'm learning, it activates your growth mindset.
Yes, the words you use can change everything. Instead of saying, this is too hard, say, I'm figuring this out. I'm learning. It's about shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset.
All right, moving on to strategy 3, build habits. Start small, repeat it, and make it automatic.
Yeah. If you set aside just 10 minutes every day to focus on your task, you start building the habit. It might seem small, but over time it becomes easier and faster.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more your brain gets used to doing hard things. No more fighting with yourself.
Now, strategy number 4, use rewards. Your brain loves rewards, so make it a habit to reward yourself after putting in effort.
Yup. After working for 25 minutes, take a short break. Or after finishing a difficult task, treat yourself to something small you enjoy.
This tells your brain, hey, effort feels good. It trains your brain to enjoy doing hard things.
Last but not least, strategy 5, identity shift. This one's a little deeper. It's about acting like the person who does hard things.
Right. Instead of thinking, I'm someone who avoids tough stuff, start thinking, I'm the kind of person who tackles challenges head-on. When you identify with that version of you, it becomes easier to act like them.
These steps aren't magic, but they work. Consistency is key. And now, get ready for our vocabulary time coming up next. We'll break down the key words from today's episode so you can level up both your mind and your English.
Don't forget, you can grab the free PDF in the description to help you review everything and use these strategies in real life.
All right, let's keep it going. All right, it's time for vocabulary time. This is the part where we dive into some of the key words we use today, so you can expand your English and understand them even better.
Yes, let's start with the word procrastinate. We've all done it, right?
Definitely. To procrastinate means to put off doing something, especially if you know you should be doing it. Like when you keep delaying your homework or putting off that important project at work.
Exactly. And this leads us straight to the word comfort zone. It's that mental place where you feel safe, relaxed, and in control. It's where you don't have to face challenges or discomfort.
Right. And staying in your comfort zone feels good, but it's also where nothing changes. If you want to grow, you've got to step outside that zone.
Which brings us to discomfort, the opposite of feeling cozy. Discomfort is the feeling you get when you try something hard or new. It's uncomfortable, but it's where growth happens.
Yep. And even though it feels bad in the moment, discomfort is usually a sign that you're on the right track. Now, let's talk about a phrase we mentioned earlier, break it down.
Yes. To break it down means to take a big task and divide it into smaller, easier parts. It's a simple way to make things feel less overwhelming.
Exactly. If you're facing a giant project, just focus on one small part at a time. It's like making a mountain into a series of manageable hills.
Next up, push through. This one is all about persistence. When you push through, you keep going even when it's tough or uncomfortable.
Right. You're telling yourself, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep moving forward no matter what.
And here's a sneaky one. Sneaky is when something is done in a way that's secret or clever, often with a bit of trickery.
Yeah, so when we say something is sneaky, we're talking about something that's a little tricky or hidden. Like, your brain might be sneaky when it tricks you into procrastinating.
Speaking of tricking yourself, that brings us to self-sabotage. This is when you accidentally stop yourself from succeeding. You might not even realize you're doing it.
Exactly. It's like when you procrastinate even though you know you have the ability to succeed. You're getting in your own way without realizing it.
So we've covered some important words today. Remember, you can review all these words and strategies with the free PDF available in the description.
That's right. So don't be afraid to use these words in your daily conversations or write them down to keep them fresh in your mind.
All right, we've got one last thing before we wrap up. Final boost time. We'll finish strong with a final motivational push to help you take action.
All right, we've made it to the end, and it's time for our final boost. Now, I want you to take a moment to imagine yourself finally pushing through the hard stuff. Picture the feeling of overcoming procrastination, stepping out of your comfort zone, and doing what you once thought was impossible.
Yeah, just imagine that moment. It's not just about the task itself. It's about how you'll feel once it's done. You'll feel proud, accomplished, and unstoppable. The discomfort? It won't even matter in the end because you'll have grown.
Exactly. So, here's your challenge for the week. Start small. Choose one task that you've been avoiding and use the strategies we talked about today. Break it down, push through, and reward yourself for every small win.
And don't be too hard on yourself. Every time you take action, you're one step closer to mastering the hard things. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going.
That's the key. Keep moving forward. Every little step counts. So, take action today and keep building that momentum. You got this.
Remember, we believe in you, and we know you can tackle those challenges. So, go out there and show the world what you're made of.
All right, that's all for today's episode. Thanks for joining us on this journey. And remember, you are capable of doing hard things. And don't forget to check out the free PDF in the description to help you review everything we discussed today.
Until next time, stay motivated and keep pushing through. You're amazing.
See you next time. Take care.